else is determined to get to your ideal weight this year, and not just get to your ideal weight, but keep that weight off. If that's you, then stay tuned, because I'm sharing my 3 very best tips for weight loss as we celebrate the 9th year of the JoLynn Braley Show. Yay! Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 481. We are celebrating 9 years of the JoLynn Braley Show with my top 3 tips to lose weight now. Let's get into it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today, it has been 9 years since I launched this podcast. 9 years ago, on the first Thursday of January in 2013, I launched this podcast, and today is the 9th year anniversary. So what I'm doing today is I am sharing with you my top 3 tips to lose weight now. Also, to celebrate this 9-year anniversary, if you'd like to have my top 9 tips to lose weight now, you can download them for free. I will send you an email and send them to you right away. You could find them by going to JoLynnBraleyShow.com, and you know how to spell this because you can just look at my podcast, JoLynnBraleyShow.com/9. JoLynnBraleyShow.com/9 will take you to the page where you can grab my top 9 tips to lose weight now to celebrate this 9-year anniversary of the JoLynn Braley Show. And today, like I said, I'm giving you 3 of them right now. So this is kind of exciting. 9 years is a long time. By the way, if you've never come to the JoLynn Braley Show before, you have no idea what the heck is going on, you have no idea who I am, my name is JoLynn Braley. I am the permanent weight loss coach who founded the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that you need if you want to stop struggling with your eating and your weight. If you are okay with yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, binge eating, stressing out, being disappointed in yourself, constantly feeling like a failure, if you're okay with that route and just looking for another food diet to follow as you continue this whole pattern back and forth, you stick with the food diet for a few days or a few weeks or a few months, and then you always go back to your old ways. If you're okay with that pattern, then you would not want the results of the Inner Self Diet. However, if you're totally fed up and you just don't want to do it anymore, you just don't want to have this ongoing pattern of struggle where you can get a few pounds off, but you always gain them back because you've never healed the root of the problem. It's that root of the problem that drives your unhealthy eating behaviors. If you heal the root in the Inner Self Diet, which, by the way, I have never seen it fail as long as my coaching client does the steps. Every client that I've coached since 2009 who has just simply done their homework, they've just done the simple steps, they've stayed consistent, they break free of their out-of-control eating problems, their binge eating, their emotional eating, whatever the problem is, they break free of it, and they're having a struggle-free time doing what they need to do to live a healthy lifestyle, and they get these results by call 8 in the Inner Self Diet. So within 8 weeks, which is pretty gosh darned amazing. And I have had some clients who I thought, wow, I don't know if they're going to get there, but they stuck with it. They did the steps. They stayed consistent, and it worked. By the way, if you want to gain some hope and hear some of these people tell you about it in their own words, search in the JoLynn Braley Show for the phrase real results. Real results. And you'll find my special series that I did where I publish some of the audio interviews that I've done with clients over the years. And they're in this series, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet. And you can hear them tell you in their own words what it was like for them to struggle with their eating and their weight before the Inner Self Diet, and then what happened for them from doing the Inner Self Diet. It's very inspiring, and at the very least, you'll gain hope that it's not hopeless for you. There is another way, but you have to do another way in order to get different results. Don't fall into that trap of Einstein's definition of insanity, which is where you continue to do the same things over and over and over again while expecting different results. That isn't going to give you new results, and it's a path to nowhereville, and it's not any fun because you're not going to get the weight off either. All right, so what are these 3 top tips that I have for you today? My best 3 weight loss tips to celebrate the 9-year anniversary of the JoLynn Braley Show. And remember, like I said, if you want my full list of my top 9 tips to lose weight now, just go to thejolynnbraleyshow.com/9. And you'll be able to opt in, and I'll email you my whole list of 9, and you can have them totally free. My number 1 bestesses weight loss tip, and I know that's not a word, but just trying to have some fun. My very best weight loss tip to lose weight now is get off of the processed foods. Stop eating processed foods. What are processed foods? The majority of the grocery store are processed foods. Whole, healthy foods are the foods you have to cook because you're not going to eat raw chicken breast because you could die from that. You have to cook it. So, plain raw chicken breast, not frozen, because frozen chicken breast has additives and sodium and all kinds of stuff injected into it. So plain raw chicken breast, that's a whole food. That's not processed food. All right. You can buy spices that don't have any added salt, because if you're going to add a bunch of added salt, you're going to have a hard time releasing that extra weight, and you're definitely going to have a harder time releasing it quickly. Vegetables, fruit. You want to only eat certain kinds of fruits, though, because some fruits are high in sugar. So there are whole foods that you can buy. And actually, if you'd like to have my grocery list, I put it together for you. It's a very simple grocery list of my regular foods, my regular whole foods that I buy, that I use in recipes. And when you read my very simple whole food, clean eating grocery list, it'll be very clear to you what I mean by whole foods, and there aren't any processed foods on my grocery list. If you want to get that, you can get it for free at www.grabmygrocerylist.com. Grab, G-R-A-B as in boy, mygrocerylist.com. So get off of the processed foods. Why? Because they make you fat. That's why. Processed foods are loaded to the brim with high sugar content, high sodium content, all kinds of additives, all kinds of preservatives, all kinds of gunk that completely gunks up and slows down the engine of your metabolism. If your metabolism grinds to a halt, how are you going to get that weight off? Processed food is so addictive also, this is another problem with it, that you want to keep eating more and you keep buying more, which is great for the processed food manufacturers, but it's not going to help you lose weight. Now, some people, they're able to eat processed food and not gain weight, but that's because they only eat when they're physically hungry and they're not having a problem with emotional eating or binge eating or food obsessions or food addiction or making food their best friend or food is their only fun in life. They're not having all of those problems. If you're struggling with emotional eating, binge eating, stress eating, food obsessions, you just can't stop eating, then more than likely you never even eat for physical hunger. You're always eating for other reasons besides physical hunger. And your body doesn't need food. It doesn't need fuel when the gas tank is already full. It doesn't need it. Very, very basic, fundamental insight into how the body works. But most people who are addicted to food as their drug of choice have forgotten this. And I've had a lot of coaching clients who can't remember the last time they ate for physical hunger. So, number one tip to lose weight now is get off of all processed foods and eat only whole, healthy foods. It'll speed up your metabolism. It'll also help you to break free of, I'd say, the majority of your binge eating. I personally have never binged on fresh steamed broccoli with nothing added. No cheese, no sauce, no sugar, no salt, nothing added to it. I don't binge eat on something like that. Things that I've binged on before are the processed foods. The processed foods. Those are the foods that you can't stop eating. Also, you want to make sure that you're using portion control and that you are eating every so often so that you are kicking your metabolism into high gear. There's more to it than just getting off of processed foods. There's certain whole foods that really aren't good for weight loss. There are certain fruits that are too high in sugar. They're not going to help you lose weight. But just the simple fact of getting off of processed foods, that's a big deal right there. If you can do that, that is a great step in the right direction. Of course, you're going to have to cook and plan ahead and change your lifestyle. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do what it takes to get that weight off? And if you continue with a healthy lifestyle like that, you can keep it off. However, you got to have the right mindset for all of this if you want to make it struggle-free and if you want to make sure that you actually do it. It's what's between your own two ears that's either going to make it really easy to get off the processed foods and live a healthy lifestyle and do everything that you need to do to accomplish your weight loss goals and weight loss maintenance goals this year, or what's between your ears is going to make it impossible to do any of this because you're going to constantly make excuses, talk yourself out of it, tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow or do it next Monday, and the days, the weeks, and the months will quickly roll by, and then we'll be right back into another holiday season again, and then you'll be thinking about making another New Year's resolution, which unfortunately, they don't work. Unfortunately, because it's just another day on the calendar. If you don't have the right mindset in place, those old patterns that you have ingrained already, they call you back and you just go back to them because it's easier. All right, so my number two best tip for losing weight now is you got to work on your mindset. You have to change what is in between your own two ears. That's 92.8% of what's going to make it easy, struggle-free, no big deal for you to do the things that you need to do to live a healthy lifestyle so that you stop buying the fake foods at the grocery store. You don't even bring them home. It's no big deal to live a healthy lifestyle, to cook, to plan ahead, to portion out your meals, to do all of the prep if you have the right mindset. If you believe in yourself, and it's not just words, it's not just a cheerleader that you're just speaking cheerleading words to yourself, but if you actually truly believe it, it's not a big deal because it's just who you are. But that right there is the problem. Who are you? Who are you? Who you are is a mix of your beliefs that you have about yourself and your beliefs about weight loss, your beliefs about changing your eating behaviors, your beliefs about your ability to do this is going to determine whether or not you really do it. If you don't really believe that you can, then you're going to make all kinds of excuses and you won't do it. You might keep talking about it. You might keep hoping about it. You might keep listening to podcasts about it. You might keep looking at before and after weight loss pictures to try to motivate yourself. But if you don't have that core foundation within you that matches the results that you say you want on the outside, you either will never actually do it, or you'll get started, but you'll stop. You'll pull yourself back. It's your inner world that's the key to all of this. If you really want to do it, if you really want to get the weight off and you want to keep it off, your inner world is key. That's why I coach my clients through the inner self diet. That's the whole point. So that the whole process of doing what you have to do to get the weight off and keep it off, it becomes struggle-free. Why does it become struggle-free? Because of a very basic, foundational, universal law, which is the inner and the outer always match. The inner and the outer always match. So a very simple way to describe this is if you're fat in your head, if your thinking is fat, then your behaviors will be fat, your choices will be fat, your food choices will be fat. When you eat, those will be fat behaviors, meaning that the way that you eat, the foods you choose, they're all going to be giving you the results of either keeping the weight on that you already have and or gaining more weight. But it all starts with your inner self programming. A person who is thinking thin has thin, fit, healthy, strong, slender behaviors. Their food choices are fit. The times they eat are fit. The amounts they eat are fit. It's a match. Does this make a little bit of sense? So if you really want to guarantee your own success, the best way to do it is to change your inner world, transform your inner world, become fit, healthy, strong, sexy, and awesome on the inside so that your behaviors match who you are on the inside. Your choices will match up, and then the weight can come off. Do you get it? Does it make sense? Now, this doesn't happen overnight. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. You need steps to follow. You need a system to follow. When you have that to follow, when you have accountability, when you've got a coach in your corner who's supporting you, you can do it. Why not? Why not? You just have to be willing to do it. If you're not willing to do it, if you're not willing to do something new, then it's not going to work because you can't get different results without doing something different. My number 3 best weight loss tip for losing weight now is something that is so often overlooked, and it is a problem that so many of my coaching clients have had since I first began professionally coaching back in 2009. And my number 3 best weight loss tip is you have to get enough deep, restful sleep each night. This is something, like I just said, it is so overlooked and discounted and just swept to the side as being something that most do not consider how fattening it is to be sleep deprived, not just in the number of hours of sleep, but in the quality of your sleep. If you do not get enough deep, restful sleep, uninterrupted each night, you're going to have a very, 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 very difficult time dropping the fat. From both a biological standpoint, because when you don't get enough deep, restful sleep, Your body is stressed out and it's going to hang on to the fat. But also from the standpoint of when you are sleep deprived and you already have these problems with emotional eating and binge eating, so you're sleep deprived and you're cranky, what do you tend to do? You go eat food when you're not hungry, and you make the wrong kind of food choices for the types of food that could help you start getting that weight off. You're not going to choose fresh steamed broccoli when you could choose takeout Kung Pao chicken with chicken fried rice and all the fixings, right? You're going to go for the gusto of all the foods that are going to work against your weight loss goals, and you'll choose those because you're so cranky and tired, because you're already struggling with emotional eating and binge eating. So this issue of not getting enough sleep each night and also not getting enough deep, restful, uninterrupted sleep is a really, 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 really big roadblock if you really are serious about getting that weight off and keeping it off. This might sound really funny, and maybe I'll sound like a crazy cat lady, but I don't care. I'm going to share it with you because it's a good, practical example. So I used to have, I don't have any cats anymore, but at one time I had 3 all at the same time, which was really crazy because I never thought I'd ever have a cat my entire life because I always used to be allergic to them. Anyway, I ended up having these 3 cats, and I used to let them sleep with me, and they each had their own position, and they would, one would sleep on this side, the other this side, the other down by my feet. But then what they would end up doing at some point is they would wake up and they would start fighting and screaming and all this stuff. And then you know how cats, how they will knead you like with their front paws, and they like, it's like they're kneading bread. The point here is that I was not getting uninterrupted, deep, restful sleep. So I had to stop allowing those pets of mine to sleep with me. And then I had friends tell me, "Oh, you're so mean. You don't let your cat sleep with you." Well, you know what? I am not of any use to anyone. I'm not of any use to my clients. I can't do my podcast effectively. I mean, I'm just like no use to anyone if I don't get enough sleep and if it's not uninterrupted, deep, restful sleep. So that's what I had to do. Now, you have to look at your own circumstances. More than likely, you probably don't have 3 cats that are waking you up fighting. I don't know what your circumstances are, and I have no idea what your biggest blind spots are unless I am coaching you in the inner self diet. It is easy for me to hear when I'm coaching my clients over the phone. It's easy for me to hear what is stopping them because I'm kind of good at what I do, but also I don't live in my coaching clients' world, so I can be objective. And this is a really big problem, another really big problem, that so many who are struggling to stop overeating, to lose weight and keep it off, this big problem they're having is you can't see your own blind spots. Nobody can. I can't see my own blind spots either. So this is a reason why coaching is so highly, 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 highly valuable if you want to get from where you are to where you want to be as quickly as possible. So if you want to go from this place of despair, shame, disappointment in yourself, maybe even depression and anger because you keep trying to lose weight, you do lose some, but you always gain it back. And here you are, how many years later, you're still struggling with the same problem, and it's another new year, and you haven't gotten to that place where you're free of it. So if you want to go from where you are and get to this place where it's not a big deal for you to live a healthy lifestyle. It's not a big deal for you to prep your meals in advance, to plan ahead, to cook, to do everything that you need to do to live healthy and fit, to stack the deck in your favor so that you don't have any excuses to roam away from your healthy eating. If you want to get from that place of despair, depression, and defeat and get into this place of freedom as fast as possible, then you want to get coaching for that. And make sure that the coach that you're going to work with has a proven system that you just have to plug yourself into and follow. And then you just have to trust the process, trust the people who have come before you, who it's worked for. And then if you just do the same thing, why can't you get the same results? I mean, unless you don't want those results. Some people are so stuck that they have given up, which is very unfortunate. And they become very, very negative and bitter. Now, I assume that that's not you, because if that were you, you wouldn't even be listening to my voice right now. You would have totally given up. Don't ever do that. Don't ever give up. If you haven't healed the root of the problem, then this is why you still have the problem. And so the solution is to heal the root of the problem. What the mainstream diet industry does is it gives you a solution for the symptom. What is the symptom? The symptom is the extra fat on your body. The symptom is also your behaviors. But why do you have that extra fat on your body? You have that extra fat on your body because of your behaviors, but why are you behaving like that? Why are you making those choices that sabotage you? What are you thinking? You probably don't even really realize what you're thinking and exactly what your limiting beliefs are that are stopping you, because you can't see your blind spots, and because if you have bought into the mainstream diet industry that tells you that all you need is a new food plan, you just need a new way of eating. If you've bought into that, then it is going to be very different for you to do something very, very different. But is it possible that if all these years of all the diets you've done, all the weight loss plans you've had, all the exercise equipment you've bought, all of the free online weight loss forums you've joined, is it possible that the reason that you're still struggling is because you haven't addressed the real problem? Maybe you didn't know that the root of the problem starts with your mindset. It's between your own two ears. And if you don't change your inner world, if you don't become fit, healthy, strong, sexy, and awesome in your inner world, then you're constantly going to be in a struggle, because you're trying to force yourself to do something that isn't who you are on the inside. And this is why it becomes so struggle-free to live a healthy lifestyle when my clients do the inner self diet, because they change themselves on the inside to become the you who already is healthy, fit, strong, and awesome in your thinking and in your beliefs. And when you have the right foundation, the right beliefs, and the right thoughts on the inside, then your behaviors will match that, and there's no struggle anymore. It's a match. You match up. All struggle is between you and you. You have a desire to lose weight, but the struggle is that there's another part of you that wants to eat all the cake and the cookies and not have any kind of rules. Well, that's not going to work. And that's why it's not working. If instead you get that part of you on the team of wanting to make choices that are going to support you in getting to where you want to be, the struggle is gone then. This is why the inner self diet works. Might not even sound believable, because that's not where you are. And I've had so many coaching clients tell me over the years that if I had told them before they joined the Inner Self Diet, if I had told them everything that was going to happen for them, they said they never would have believed it. So, guess you have to trust. And if you're not willing to trust, that's another problem. You probably don't even trust your own body then. You might have even lost trust in yourself, which is a really big challenge. It's a really big issue. And that's very unfortunate because that's one of the reasons that people give up. So I strongly suggest that you don't give up. Hey, like I said before, if you want to gain some hope, search in my podcast, search in the JoLynn Braley Show for the phrase real results. Look up this series that I did, Real Results from the Inner Self Diet. Listen to some of the people that I've coached in the past. Hear them tell you in their own words what their struggles were like and what happened to their struggles as a result of the Inner Self Diet. At the very least, you should be able to gain some hope that there's another way. Also, before we wrap up here, remember that if you want my full list of all 9 of my best weight loss tips to lose weight now, go to www.thejolynnbraleyshow.com/9, and I'll send them to you as soon as you opt in. That's a way to celebrate the 9-year anniversary of the JoLynn Braley Show. One more thing, if you really are serious about ending your food and weight struggles once and for all, and it makes sense to you that you need to heal the root of these problems, it's not enough to just put a Band-Aid on them. If a Band-Aid were enough, you wouldn't be listening to me right now, and you wouldn't be so frustrated after all these years of all this struggle that you've been living through. If you want my help to finally break free of your out-of-control eating so that it can become struggle-free for you to live a healthy lifestyle so that you can get that weight off and keep it off, go to www.discovery-session.com, www.discovery-session.com. Complete an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. Let's see if we can get on the phone. We can talk and find out if or how I might be able to help you. We don't know right now because I don't know who you are. I'm just here in my home office recording studio recording this free weight loss podcast for you. This is a one-way communication, and coaching requires two-way communication. So if you really are serious about breaking free of your binge eating, your emotional eating, your food obsessions, making food your crutch in life, if you really want freedom from the struggle and you want me to help you do it, go to www.discovery-session.com, complete an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. Make sure you complete the application, otherwise you haven't applied. What do you have to lose except maybe some struggle? And wouldn't that be nice? www.discovery-session.com is the place to get started now. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that you need, the diet that is required if you truly want to break free of your ongoing food and weight struggles once and for all. Thanks for being here, celebrating the 9-year anniversary of the JoLynn Braley Show. As always, I wish you your best life, living inside of your ideal body, looking your best in your jeans, and never, ever, ever apologize for looking your very best. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll see you again soon.